Hi, everybody, and welcome to Conscious Talk TV. And I'm your host, Linda Summers, and we are providing information to bring awareness to humanity and truth, actually, as well. And our topic tonight is empowerment. And we have back with us Kalia Daya, who is a powerful divine being of truth, compassion, and love. And so, with that, I'd love to welcome Kalia to the show. Hi, Kalia.
Hi, Linda. I'm so enjoyed to be back with you and everyone
Yes,
again. Yeah.
yes. It's a pleasure to be back with you as well. Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's tuning in with us right now. We appreciate you tuning in. And just a little footnote or just a little side note that I want to say for the show. We are going to do question and answer at the end. But if everyone could respectfully not ask for personal questions, who's your star family or anything like that tonight, that would be really great. And if we could tailor those questions more towards the topic of the show tonight, that would be awesome. We really appreciate that. So, and Kalia got some guidance before we start the
Mhm.
show to set the pace because we were just having I was just looking at 1111 comments. So I
Mm.
almost said 1111. So, um, yeah, so we're gonna start with that. So I'll let Kalia fill you in on what she got and what we're gonna do. So thank you.
Okay. Well, I have been in a place of stillness for the last couple of days because I personally have had a week that I could write a short story about. So I just been in a really still, quiet, beautiful space, and so that frequency is being brought in for everybody right now, and it's really a nurturing space. It's bringing balance and peace and stillness. So I just invite you all to come with me now. And this is not rehearsed at all, but we're just going to breathe together just for a couple of minutes, not make it a big deal, but just breathe together for a couple of minutes. And as you listen to my voice, just focus on the circuit of your breath. Just make it really even in and out. You can close your eyes if you wish. Just get comfortable and we'll just go to a really beautiful place together for a little while, and then we'll get to the beautiful message that Anna has and all the other beings that are here. So just focus on your breath, just slowly in and out, and just enjoy the rhythm of it and listen to the sound of it and see how it feels. Gently in and out. And while you're doing that, we're just going to bring in light from source, breathing in light into every cell of your body, and then breathing out anybody's energy or any stress you may have had this week or anything that would have tipped you off center. Just breathe it out and then breathe in source light and release and let everything just dissolve into source light, because there's nowhere you need to be and nothing you need to be doing except being present right now in this peaceful, nurturing energy that's coming in. So breathe in and out, breathing in light and dissolving anything that no longer serves you. And just receive everything that is there for you. Receive the love, receive the peace, and receive the comfort if that's what you need. And it's all dissolving away now, and nothing else matters except this moment of being together in this beautiful, quiet space. And so I call on all who are of the highest light and resonance to join us now, and that the highest resonance of truth and love come through this time together and through the transmission from Anna. And I thank everyone who's here, every soul who's here, and every being who's here, and Creator. And so it is. So we'll just breathe a few more times together, and then we'll come back and open your eyes when you're ready. Breath is so powerful, and it can instantly diffuse whatever emotion you're feeling or even a circumstance, you know how they say count to 10? There's some
Yeah.
truth to that, you know, if you
Yeah.
just press the pause button, reset, and bring yourself back to the now and know that you have everything you need in this moment to navigate through whatever's just been thrown at you, you know, or whatever you're feeling. So that felt really good.
Yeah. And we were talking before the show how with these energies, they're really intense. And
Mm-hmm.
so we may, have some other ones with the equinox coming up. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I thank you for that, for
Mm-hmm.
bringing us into this really peaceful place. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think creator and my guides too for bringing that forward because it was just really good. You know, it does get intense. There's no doubt about it. You know, and
Yeah.
even this week, my physical body was, you know, doing the old question mark, like, what is happening? You know, I didn't want
Yeah.
to eat and my sleep was disrupted. And I was like, I know what's going on. So I'll
Mm,
just do the best I can with it, you know. So,
mm,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And thank you, everybody else who's just joined us. We just did a beautiful meditation. Kalia guided us through a small meditation to bring us to this really beautiful place. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah. So, with that being said, we are going to get started. And I
Okay.
think the message from Anna, that's going to be a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, we might do it
From
fairly quickly here, but just
Okay.
for some background, right after our last show together, Linda, two of my guides came in really close because you and I were talking about, you know, what's next on the
Yeah.
agenda. And they came in really close
Yeah.
and they didn't tell me, but I knew they had something, you know, it felt big, you know, like it was very clear that they had something. So I said, okay. And then by Tuesday, I received the message and I'm like, oh, yes, yes, that feels right. I can roll with that. So
Yeah.
I'll share Anna's message. I'm going to be really high tech about it and hold my phone to my microphone. But I really feel like the actual voice recording of the transmission is really important tonight. So we'll just sit with that too. But this whole message of empowerment is just so important. It may not be fresh breaking news, but I know I need reminded of it a lot. You know, when I slip back into the old way of thinking, like I can't, or how am I going to, or, you know, what's
Yeah.
going on, then, you know, it's so good to be reminded that we have everything we need in this moment and how to tap into that. So it'd be good to share together, you know, and see how each other, how we all, you know, we all have brilliance that we can share with each other. So to help
Yeah.
assist us. Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely. And I think what's
Hmm.
important with the, uh, the channeling that you do is also the frequency of that. We talked about that too, the
Hmm.
frequency. So feel the frequency, the vibration of her
Hmm.
voice, and just the vibration of Anna that's coming through.
Hmm.
So when you hear this, it's really beautiful. So, and
Hmm.
high tech girl, you did a great job when we yeah.
All right.
So
We'll
it's
just
gonna
do
be
it.
great. So
Yeah, we'll do it.
yeah.
I think
All
we're
right.
supposed to do that right now if that feels all right with you, Linda.
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
explain to them who Anna is
Yes.
first
Yeah.
before so they kind of have some background as to what they're going to be listening to? That would be great.
Yes. Anna has not been mainstream as far as I know, but she is a very high dimensional being. She was an actual person who was the grandmother to Yeshua or Jesus, however you wish to think of him. And she had an incredible life. Her life wouldn't necessarily be labeled easy, but it was incredible because she lived hundreds of years, which she referred to in the message, way past the normal lifespan that we're accustomed to. But she went through mystery school after mystery school and had initiations and out of body experiences, and she learned how to have light conception, you know, like the tale of the Virgin Mary, only it's not exactly that, but you know, really amazing high powered frequency miracles, really. And she is just the frequency and the energy of her is just so soft, so wise, so kind, without judgment. just completely unlimited. So she's an amazing being. Just, she's infinite like we are. So her energy is still here. But she lived a life and she traveled around and she taught initiates, and she really helped. She was one of the key people in Jesus's life, and she guided him through his physical journey. So much of this has not been recorded, but the information I've received has fully resonated with me, and it made me very excited when I first stumbled onto it, and it really has been a key part of my own awakening and my own human life, because it's really practical. So that's the background on Anna.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I'll get my high-tech recording going here, and we'll just sit back and enjoy it, and just listen to the words. And you don't even have to focus on the words, but just allow your heart to open to this really amazing frequency that she carries. Jesus. Dear ones, it is I, Anna, grandmother of Jesus. I bring you the frequency of divine love, peace, and knowing in this moment. And I invite you all to bathe in that frequency with me while we share together. The word of truth has long outlasted all disbelief, all distortion, and all untruths. And I am here today bringing in that frequency to each and every one of you. The immutable truth is limitless, it is timeless, and it is joyous, and it is yours. I invite you all today to place your consciousness in your heart center and leave your mind behind. Allow the words of power to be activated within you, and your knowing to become one with you. For in so doing, you become one with the creator energy, the source of love, and the source of all that is. I invite you to come on a journey with me now. I will share with you the mysteries of truth, the acts of love, and the joy of beingness. In this journey I am taking you on, I will lead you into a glimpse of my own life on this planet. And I invite you to sit in stillness and listen. There are many who wish to simply arrive at a great destination point in their journey. There are many who rush about looking for answers, the eternal seekers, when they miss the jewels of truth that are before them. So I invite you now on this journey to come with me in stillness and silence, and allow yourself to truly hear the essence of the words that are spoken. Upon my own personal journey, which was well beyond the span of which you are accustomed to, I was initiated, tested, and even tried to the point of emotion that seemed overwhelming, yet I knew in all moments that I was guided from moment to moment on the divine journey of eternal truth. And so I walked in that. And through each initiation and test, I learned to go within and find the center of source and to create, to listen, to learn, and to expand within that source. I had many moments of joy, transcendent moments, and many moments even of not being in my physical body. The story of my life is one to be shared with you so that you understand and know that it is truly about the moments and it is not about the final destination. Many are keen to seek an answer, and many are keen to look outside. But unless one does their own personal inner work, uncomfortable, although uncomfortable it may be, then one does not progress and expand into oneness with the true divine cosmic nature of all that is. I urge you now to come into that oneness and that stillness and that silence, for therein you find the answers. There are many who are guided to come together to share the ancient mysteries and the knowledge of the oneness of which I speak. Continue to find those who resonate at the same frequency with you. Continue to share with each other, and continue to laugh together and learn together. For all is orchestrated by your own soul's divine essence. Trust and honor that. But the ultimate way to find peace, joy, harmony, and all it is that you seek is to look within and discover your own truth, your own knowing, your own divine beingness. For such was the story of my life. I spent hundreds of years studying, learning, being initiated, and I experienced long moments of silence without any other soul around. And all of those experiences allowed me to expand into greater oneness. You are the creators of your own life. You have been created by Source. You are not alone and you are not separate, but you have the power to propel yourself into the reality in which you wish to exist. For this is the gift of life. And I invite you now to step into that empowerment and to be all. You are blessed and you are wondrous. Know thyself. I leave you with love and blessings. Thank you, Hannah.
Yes, thank you. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I've actually listened to that a few times this week. And it just, every time it just feels so good. Because there's no judgment. And we aren't judged from, creator, or we only judge ourselves, really. There's just no judgment. There's just complete love. And, help, really. We have all the help we need. So if we're a hot mess, we can ask for help, and and none of our guides or creator is gonna shake their finger at us and go, you screwed up. It's not that.
Yeah.
And really the energy of what she's saying is to enjoy your life, and just appreciate it where you're at. And again, like we talked about last week, to not compare yourself to other people. It's just
Mhm.
really counterproductive. So yeah, I really like that message from her.
Yeah. And such a great segue into about empowering yourself. That's really what
Mm,
it is. It's about
yeah.
really
Hmm.
empowering yourself.
Hmm.
And so, what a perfect message.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
And we all need that. And the essence of what is going to be shared tonight is that it is so good to be in a space like this with each other. And when we hear messages of going within, that doesn't mean put yourself in solitary confinement. It just
yeah.
means don't be frantic about getting the right answer right now. Trust that it will come,
Yeah.
and know that you are tapped into that divine column of light, if you will, or however you want to you experience it yourself, but that connectedness, because we are not separate. We all have access to that. It is not for an elite club, and nobody has to pay exorbitant fees to get into that club, right? It's our divine birthright.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all readily available, and that's why it's good to hold space like this together, so that we can just go, oh, well, that person's normal, or this person's normal, or maybe I'm not so, as doing as bad as I thought, because we always, pardon me, put those judgments on ourselves, and we're really just blocking
Mm,
ourselves. I've done that so many
mm.
times, and I am so done with that.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
It's so true. And I know the messages that you got channeled, which really is what you're saying, is that we're not separate from source.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're
we
not.
all have access.
Mm-hmm. Because our infinite selves, our higher selves, are always connected, and we are we are connected to that at all times too. So everything comes from source or creator or God, whatever you want to refer it to as. But our higher self is also, there's the dot. Here's creator up here, and then my higher self is here, and then here is the physical form of me. But I always see it as a column of light, and that's it, the instantaneous way that I connect when I'm feeling tired or off, or before I do my one-on-one sessions or whatever. I just visualize that column of light, and I know I'm in that stream, and away we go.
Yeah.
I don't overthink it, and I don't let the linear mind tell me that how can that be possible. I know it's possible because I
Mm,
feel it in my heart.
yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
it works. Hmm.
Yeah. And not pushing it.
No, and you're,
Yeah.
yeah,
Not
not,
forcing.
no, not contriving
Yeah.
it.
Just allowing.
Yeah, exactly. And not judging how it comes in, because it comes in differently for you than it does for me, because we each have
Mm-hmm.
different, we're just all unique and amazing. And so
Yeah.
the way you might receive a message would be different than me, but the frequency is still the same, and
Yeah.
that's why we keep having this sign waved in front of our face to just love yourself, and don't compare yourself to others, and don't
Mm-hmm.
judge yourself, because that really is the most effortless way to
Mm-hmm.
the lives that we want, lives of fulfillment and joy and bliss. If that's on your list, that's the easiest way, is just to get out of
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
way and let it
Yeah.
happen. Yeah. And they
Yeah.
showed me this week, the birds are back because it's been warmer. Thank goodness. And the birds are happy and they're singing,
Yeah.
and they showed me you can be like a bird or like a child. They have no worries. They don't
Yeah.
worry, how am I going to eat tomorrow? They just are happy for the seeds that they find today, or my son's
Yeah.
happy to take the food out of my hand and eat it himself. Because he has no worries. They
Yeah.
don't worry about that. They're so in the moment, because
Yeah.
obviously being an adult is hard. It sucks sometimes. But
Yeah.
if we can shift back just reset into that bird energy and just singing and enjoying the sunshine and not worrying about it, and just flying around, being happy and free. The process. It's
Yeah.
not usually something that we can just jump into, but with an awareness of it, then it can become a reality.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that goes with what we talked about at the last show, or one of the shows on Friday or Saturday too, is that it doesn't matter who's at, about comparing yourself,
mhm,
who is at,
mhm,
a higher angel versus someone who's just
mhm,
starting or whatever.
mhm,
We are of the same essence, the same vibration,
mhm.
and of that source. And so, yeah, to just really remember that that's where and where you're at is where you're at,
Mhm.
and it's perfect to be where you're at.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, each soul has a different role or contract, if you will, or
Mhm.
certain things to work out.
Yeah.
So I have connected with a few souls that really had not a lot of debris. They came here and they were full on, and they didn't have to clear
Mhm.
their template or their divine hologram. They didn't have a lot of trauma, shock, or really bad things happen to them, in
Yeah.
lifetimes. Where someone like me, I came here just like with 16,000 layers of grunge, right? That
Yeah.
I had accumulated, but I honored my journey, and every time I learned, I didn't know this immediately, but I learned that every time something came up to not be afraid of it and go, oh, why did I react that way? What does that
Yeah.
mean? And I wouldn't always know the root of it, but I really fully learned to honor my humanness and my
Yeah.
emotion, and then just center myself and go, okay, I just got triggered, or I'm annoyed right
Yeah.
now. I don't want to be annoyed, so I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
self, be not annoyed, or
Yeah.
if I need to release it, then I will. There are times when you need to actually, really feel it, of course, and not cover it up or push it aside, but just to honor it,
Yeah.
because we don't have to
Mhm.
walk around we feel like we have to be perfect all the time, and we already are perfect. All we're doing is just clearing
Yeah.
stuff so that we can,
Yeah.
tap into the joy a little bit easier. And honestly, every time you do it, it does get easier. So if anybody
Yeah.
feels like giving up right now, don't. It does,
Yeah.
it with every moment and every experience and everything that comes in your path, it is an opportunity. And if
Mhm.
you feel like you screwed it up, don't worry about it. You will get that opportunity again, because the energy is timeless and it will come around again. And then next time you'll have the opportunity to be aware and to just like, navigate through it like a rock star. So never ever
Yeah.
worry that you're going to get left behind, or that you screwed it up or you missed the boat. No, just say, oh, that was,
Yeah.
yeah, I could have maybe done it differently, but do what you can in the moment. And the ones that know me well know that I came here with a program of, I don't know what the fancy word would be, but basically really being good at beating myself up. And
Mm.
that's not useful at all.
Yeah. No, it's not self-love either. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So,
Mm. Well, something when you were talking, I've got two things that there was something that I had learned from a TED Talks
mm,
interview, or a speech years ago, that whenever there's an emotion that comes up for us, that a lower vibrational emotion, that it takes 92 seconds to dissipate.
ah,
And once you disconnect the thought from the actual feeling, because what keeps us in the loop of the suffering is the thought is attached to the emotion,
yes.
right? So once
Hmm.
we detach the thought, right, and just allow the emotion to be anger, sadness,
Hmm.
frustration,
Hmm.
wherever you're at, allow that just to be itself, and allow that. 92 seconds, you will have peace. And trust me, it really works. She was some sort of, I can't remember her name. It was years ago, but she dealt with the brain. And
Mm.
so she worked with the neurons and things like that. And I've tried it, and in my coaching, I've given it to other people, and it really does work. So, but you have to detach the thought that
Yes.
caused the emotion, right? You have to detach that, and then take that 92 seconds, and you can even put a clock up for 92
Mm.
seconds and allow yourself to feel, because most of the time we want to shove those down and not really feel
Mm-hmm.
them. But I think, like you said, it's really important to do that. And the other thing is, what I wrote down too was taking on other people's energies. I think we
Yeah.
talked about that too, that
Mm-hmm.
we can easily, is that my energy? Because I know
Yes.
I've taken on other people, and that I've reacted versus responding to a
Mm-hmm.
situation, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing until I've talked to somebody else and they're like, oh, well, that probably wasn't even yours anyway. And I'm like, right? But in the moment I felt it, I had an inkling that this is not mine. Like, this is unusual for me to be acting like this,
Mm-hmm.
until, and then but I still acted upon it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's brilliant.
yeah,
I absolutely
yeah,
love that. Yeah.
yeah. And it so works. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm just still thinking about that 92 seconds. That's what
yeah,
it's called resetting too, because there's
yeah,
times where I have to reset. It's
yeah,
like, whoa, I just went way far over right field here. Come
yeah,
back. But that would
yeah,
be, yeah, I love that, Linda. That's great. I will actually try that. And then,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
other people's energies, especially for people who are
Mhm,
highly empathic like me, it's been
mhm.
it's been boot camp for me to learn how to distinguish between what comes elsewhere and what's my own. I'm getting really good at it now. It's pretty instantaneous, but again, it wasn't just like magically one day I got a download and didn't bother me anymore. It took a lot of work, right? And that's why
Yeah,
I'm sharing again how to, my own experience of honoring my
mhm,
own emotions and how I deal with things because nobody else is like me, you know.
yeah,
And for those of us who are more sensitive,
mhm,
yeah, it's harder than
yes,
people who are just like, oh well, moving on, right?
yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're around so many energies too.
Hmm.
Especially when you're working with other people too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really had to learn that. Hmm.
yeah.
Which now I do.
And
It's
something
not.
else I
Go ahead.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
There's button. Oh, I was say there's probably a delay, and I apologize because we
Hmm.
tried, and tried, and so, yeah, yeah. So I got to figure out a
Hmm.
way to get this. But I wrote down, it's like like holding that space for that emotion, but also if like the fears that we have. Of course, the acronym they say false evidence appearing real is for
Hmm.
fears, and it's not really real.
Hmm.
And but to face those. But I wrote down the movie. I don't know if anybody's watched that or if you've watched it. It's called Finding Joe,
Hmm. I haven't seen
and
it.
it's really an inspirational. It's a really good movie, and it really talks about all this that of things that we go through, right? And the name is really kind of interesting, so I don't want to give it away because then that would really kind of give it away. But it is where we are different, as you're saying, from everyone else, but we still have the same emotions. We still have, we have fears
Hmm.
and things like that. But it's finding, as we're talking about in the show, is the empowerment. We're not separate, and to honor those until we, you know, um, become neutralized and rise
Yeah.
above them.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
if you haven't checked out the movie, it's really good. A super good movie. It's just very inspirational. It's got a lot of great messages in it that would kind of help, I think, with people too where they're at. So
Hmm. Yeah, I love it.
yeah,
I'll put it on my
yeah,
to watch list for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some really great things.
Hmm. Well, I don't have 16,000 pages of notes and messages like I did last time. So, and one of my main guides is pretty goofy, and he said, "Hey, Kalia." I'm like, "Yes." He said, "What if?" He said, "What if you were to answer everything in light language?" And I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, "Really?" That would be funny.
I told you we
No.
need to get a translator.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
still working on that. Anyway, it's good. I only have actually maybe 5 or 6 things that they've guided me to share, so I don't think it will be
Yeah.
long and drawn out, but if you're ready to go for it, I'll just jump in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being the captain obvious that I am, I wrote down we are not separate from source. We all know that. But they were showing me I have learned this personally how to change my vocabulary, and it opened me way up, and it transformed my sessions because I shared last show or one of the shows, I've always been able to see, have my
Mhm.
third eye open kind of thing, but I found after I realized this, and there was a divine one that helped me see this. But after I realized how I was limiting myself with my language and even rephrased the words I used, it just opened it up like full throttle. So instead of the tap being sort of open and you had enough of a trickle to work with, it was like
Yeah.
the tap was turned on and the pressure just shot out. And now it just has made it infinitely easier for me to get messages for people because I am not limiting myself how I get them or what I see. So I'll give you an example. When I was talking to this brother, I was sharing my vision with him, and I said, I don't always understand what I see. I know what I see and I trust it, but I don't always
Yeah.
understand. He said, stop. You need to change what you're saying and say, I am beginning to see. And so, as I was describing what I saw, I said in faith, with sort of a wobbly feeling in my heart, you know, I'm beginning to see. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, it just came in. And then he was able to see through our transference of energy. And then we got the full picture of what
Mm.
we were supposed to see. And I will never forget that
Mm.
moment. It has completely transformed my gift, and what I do with
Mm.
others and in my own day to day life. So take the
Mm.
words out, I can't, or I don't
Yes.
know. And even if it doesn't come whooshing in like the tap that's, full on, know that you are opening yourself up to that flow. So you're going to receive the
Yeah.
message, no matter if
Yeah.
you get a physical sensation or not. So say, I'm beginning to see,
Yeah.
or I'm beginning to understand, or I know, or even I am. And then you're fully
Mm.
in that cosmic stream of energy. So it's just, isn't that easy? Like, it's not a magic formula. It's just shifting, just a
Yeah.
little shift. And then all of a sudden,
Mm.
you're right in that stream.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
just one word, it's like then you can connect the dots. So just taking that
Yeah.
one word and seeing, okay, here I just received a word and asking, like you said, what more
Mhm.
can I see about this? What more do I need to know about this? And maybe it's not time to know more. And
Yeah.
then a
Yeah.
day or week or whatever later, you're like,
Mhm.
oh, that's what
Mhm.
it was for.
Mhm.
Yeah, connecting the dots. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
often happens that way.
yeah,
But you've just opened
yeah,
yourself up to receiving it in exactly the right time, however it
yeah,
comes in for you. So I'll never forget that.
yeah,
And that was something I really clearly needed to share because
yeah,
I wasn't aware. And I'm so glad that he pointed it out because I was not aware that I was limiting myself. Like, I know what I
yeah,
see, but, I had that old
yeah,
but on
yeah,
there. And now it's just like
yeah.
when I'm connecting to somebody, I still catch myself. Like the other day, I shifted my words from a limiting, energy to a wide open, unlimited energy. And then immediately it was like, okay, thank you. It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
takes practice.
Yeah.
Mm,
Absolutely. But language
yeah.
is important. I fully agree with that.
Mhm.
Totally
Mhm.
important because we're
Mhm.
creators. So we're
Mhm.
creating constantly.
Mhm.
And so the thought,
Mhm.
even if you're not saying it, it's the thought
Mhm.
that you have can
Yeah.
also affect because it's all vibrational energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I wrote down in meditation before the show. Words are powerful, but it's also your intention and energy that holds that power. So don't worry about getting your words
Yes.
right. Like, oh, I didn't say
Yeah.
that right. Don't stress about it.
Yeah.
But the,
Yeah.
the changing the I can't to I can. It sounds like we're a TED
Yeah.
Talk now. We're doing TED Talks.
Yeah.
But it is that simple, and it's your
Oh,
intention. So don't worry about getting it perfect, but if you intend to be open, I'm open to everything, I'm open to the highest
Yeah.
frequency of truth and love, then just trust it, right? And we will
Yeah.
get to the point
Yeah.
where we're just like so on fire, we're just walking around with like flames coming out of our back, or whatever. You know,
Yeah. Light coming out of our
yeah,
body.
yeah. Lasers
Oh,
out of our eyes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
truly
funny.
believe that. But in the meantime, let's just have fun with it and not like stress about it, right? Because
Yeah.
words are a
Right.
language of the mind too. Like we still need
Yeah.
labels sometimes to identify it, if we're not tuned into the frequency of it, and that's fine, but not to get hung up
Yeah.
on labels even. Because we could
Oh,
sit here
yeah.
all night and not say a word
Mhm.
and still be transmitting frequencies, and people would still
Mhm.
feel the same sense of peace. And
Mhm.
there's certainly are words of power. I've been given a few that I use in
Yeah.
my day-to-day life, but still it's
Yeah.
that's what they showed me in meditation. It's tune into that frequency and know that your intention is
Yes.
it will match with your words, like you can, if you know what I'm saying, it flows that
Yeah.
way with your intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to share something with you on the
Okay.
I can.
Mm.
My kids, when they were growing up, they would always say I can't. So I always would have
Mhm.
them write the word American because at the end, the last four
Yes.
letters are I can. And I would say, okay,
Mhm.
write down the word American, circle the last four words or last four letters, and
Mhm.
they'd circle. Okay. And after a while, every time I'd say, write down the word American, we know we can. And I'm like, great. Okay. So if you know you can, then you can. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're older now, so they still,
Mhm.
we kind of joke about that every once in a while. I
Mhm.
remember mom telling me that, but I
Mhm.
just had to share that because I think for anybody who has young kids,
Mhm.
like even you too, like when they're saying, I can't do that,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, of course, I don't know if you have them write down the word American, but,
Mhm.
it just was something that I had to figure out something that they could go by, and then
Mhm.
just be able to circle the last four
Yeah. I
letters.
love that. Yes, keeping
Yeah.
it simple. Keeping it simple.
hmm
Good.
Well, and fun. Make it
Yep.
fun to where
Mhm.
they do learn,
Mhm.
easier. I've noticed that too. So when you make it
Yep.
a little bit more fun, that they can
Mhm.
learn a little bit easier.
Mhm. Yeah. And it helps to have an
And I think it
association
was
too.
absolutely. And I love about the label thing. I think that's really important because we do label everything.
Mhm.
And when we label, we always make it mean something,
Yes.
you know?
Mhm.
So what do you want to make it mean,
Yeah. Mhm.
or not? Or just let it be
Yeah.
and then let it see it change its own
Yep.
identity.
Mhm.
If they say everything's an illusion, that we're just in this
Mhm.
illusionary own movie, then nothing that we're looking at is real anyway.
Yeah.
It's just all what we want to project what we're seeing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
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 I love that.
Yeah, I'm ready to let go of labels. And honestly, the only reason why I have any attached to my name is so people, because I'm here to help other people and to help empower people. So I have that, like say on my Facebook profile, for example, so people understand what it is that I do. But if we ever get to the day where labels aren't needed, I'll be saying our big hurrah because really, at the beginning, I just put I am because we all are I am. We may express it in different
Yeah,
ways, but
yeah.
it doesn't mean anything to me. I actually even shared on a YouTube video how I took all my certificates off the wall because I was identifying too strongly with with them. And I said, no, I'm not going to be
Yeah.
limited to the training I've had. So I took them off the wall and I put them
Mm,
away, and I just said I
yeah.
open right up to my infinite self. And that was a really key
Yeah.
point in my life too, because
Yeah.
nobody else was doing that to me, but I was, limiting myself by saying, well, I'm a shaman or I do Reiki or whatever. No, it's so much bigger than that, just as it is for everybody else. You know, it
Yeah.
does, that was the foundation where I started from,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just here to express our own amazingness in whatever way we do it best and to honor that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keeping it simple.
Yeah. I think it's a remembrance also of who we really are.
Yes.
You know, if really, when you look at us in essence, what we really are is an angel. We're love, you know, and light. And there are, you know, even though we know that there's Archangel Michael and the Ascended Masters, you know, they all have a role to play as well. But yeah, those are a very interesting thing.
Yeah, they are. We'll get to a point where we don't need them because we'll just be telepathically communicating, and we'll just know, like reading somebody's aura. You're like, oh, there goes somebody who's very into quantum physics. Cool. I'd like to talk to him, right? He's got symbols and stuff swirling around his head up here, right? And then someone who's more motherly would have, you know, hearts floating above her head or whatever. And someone who's cosmic has a little universe spinning here, you know. But,
yeah. Or just enjoying just the energy of the person, you know. I think it's just
yes,
like just enjoying that, you know, like enjoying the presence of one, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Just being with that.
I love when I find a soul that I can just sit in silence and it's not awkward and it's not weird, and you just sit there and you're just like, this is so effortless right now.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
It's so amazing. Yeah.
Have a singing bowl. Just
Mm-hmm.
have the music and the toning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, those moments
We're
are
really
good.
gonna go.
We're all
gonna be mesmerized.
Yeah. Well, I'll be asleep by the end of the show and the recording's gonna go on.
Everybody's just really laid back. We're just kind of like sloshing around in our own loveliness of our energies.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, me
You're
too.
such a beautiful soul.
Oh, so are you, Linda. We have a good flow. We have a good flow.
Yeah. It's so funny.
So the next point, if you feel like we're good with that one, changing our stuff. Okay.
Yep.
I had a very general, sort of uninspiring note here: how to find your own truth and your own guidance. Something that really helped me with that, instead of labeling it right or wrong, or good or bad, insert or replace those words with useful or not useful. And that really helps bring in neutrality. So if you have an upsetting conversation with someone, you can still walk away and roll your eyes and shake your head and go, well, that wasn't useful. You know, you can still have that sort of reaction, but at least you're not, like you said, with your 92-second pause, you're detaching from the story of it. You're still feeling the emotion, but you're not going to run with it and make it a big drama. You know, so useful or not useful, is that useful to me or not useful? And that has really, really assisted me with a lot of things, to remain neutral. Most importantly with myself, because I'm still clearing the programs of self-worth and whatever, getting really good actually. But once in a while it'll come up. So I'll say, well, is that useful? You know, is that useful for me to feel like that? And, you know, check in with my truth compass, and then I can clear it just like so much faster, you know, rather than staying days in it. You know how when you have a conversation with somebody, you wish it would have gone differently, and then after you get all these brilliant insights and you're replaying the conversation in your mind, and you're just like, oh, where was that brilliance when I was in the moment? You know,
I could have used all that.
I totally could have. Like, why didn't I get it then? But you know, to say no, it may not have been useful at the moment, but now I get it. So now I'm going to shift into the useful energy of it, and hopefully next time it'll be brilliant. You know, but to not pass judgment on yourself.
But you were brilliant. Yes.
Probably.
But you were, I think, don't you think at the time too that we really do, for whatever comes out, unless we're being mean, but I can't imagine you'd never be that way. But you know what I mean? Like whatever we say, it's maybe it was meant to say to stir something up in somebody else, but maybe also to stir it up in ourselves too. I don't know. Just feels like maybe, you know, that there's just but we do think of afterwards, like, oh, I could have said that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in everything that comes into my daily life, that it's an opportunity. It's not
Yes.
random. So
Yeah.
my infinite self up there is like, sort of tapping her finger going, we're going to throw a
Yeah.
curveball at her. Let's see how she does with that. Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
the human me is like, being a baby about
Yeah.
it. Or, sometimes I breeze through it. Right. Like kind of roll my eyes, I'm moving on kind of thing. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
I do believe that, we have created those opportunities for ourselves, our team, our guides too, or whatever. But our
Yeah.
infinite self is like, she can handle that one today. Let's throw a real hard curveball and see if she can catch it.
Yeah.
But it's not, sometimes it's a
Yeah.
test maybe, but it's not a test where you fail, right? It's just an opportunity to take what's useful or not useful, really. I sort of got off topic there because I was going to talk about our friend Lawrence, about empowerment.
Oh,
And
yeah. From
yes,
okay.
I messaged him and he gave his full consent. So,
Fine.
it's for background for those of you who did not see the last show. We ended up doing a lot of spontaneous readings for people, which is really fun. And Lawrence asked a question. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest.
It
So,
was. I do remember that. Yeah.
something about, you know,
Who was a star
yeah,
family,
yeah.
star
Hmm.
origin, I think.
Hmm.
And
Well,
then he was in a stuck place.
that's right. Yeah, he felt like he was not quite
Yeah.
moving or something like that. So I saw his
Yeah.
frequency as a heartbeat. It went up and down,
Ah,
like like, just like a heartbeat. But then I saw that if he shifted just a little bit more, that it would become rounded. And then they showed me threes. And then that's when I drew that little tiny, I should have done it bigger, but that little tiny, the three threes that were connected. I said, oh, it looks like a daisy. And so, I left it at that. And then Lawrence, I believe it was the next day, and I'm actually going to read his actual post because I don't want to misquote. He had such
yeah.
a great interpretation of that. And I was just like, oh, that is empowerment. So you take,
Yes.
the message is given to you and you interpret it how it resonates with you and you make it your own. And I was like, brilliant. I have to share this because sometimes we just say, well, that was a great message, feels good, and we leave it at that. We don't discover or explore further, but there's always more because everything is infinite. Anyway, I will shut up and I will read Lawrence's post. My guidance
Yeah.
tells me that Sunday, 3/17, St. Patrick's Day, begins the 3-2-1 countdown to 0 point, the day of the 333 equinox trinity to the universal Christ consciousness is the end and new beginnings. The code is embedded in nature's shamrock. So that little daisy that I had scribbled on the paper, he interpreted it as a shamrock. And when I saw this, I was like, I
Right.
love it.
Yes. Yes.
He said, my guidance drew this picture for me when I asked her when my holding pattern would come to a close. That was his question. See the
Yeah.
three threes in the sacred geometry forming the three hearts? There are no coincidences. All is in perfection. Trust in the one flowing through all. I am, we are. And I was just so in
Yeah.
joy to read that. I was like, I love
Yeah.
that. That is a
Yeah.
beautiful example of empowerment, of a soul
Yeah.
taking a message and receiving, his own interpretation of it and really fully he brought it home. Like that was a home run for him
Mm.
because, he didn't just sit there. He received, the brilliant guidance from his own infinite self to apply it to his now. So anyway, thank you,
Yeah.
Lawrence. Thank you for letting me share that.
Yes.
I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah. Well, and also what I heard too is that that was his truth.
Yeah.
Like when he heard that and saw that
Mm,
in his, it was like, my truth is that, which really it took you to kind of put that there, right?
mhm.
And that spurred his own truth to rise,
Yeah.
and go, wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So what say
Yes.
we take with what we're
Mhm,
given and we
mhm.
find our own truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why we are all one and we are here to help each other because all parts become the whole
Yeah.
and we are not separate.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this reality, this world that we're creating is that.
Yeah.
You know, we each have something to share and give that's important. And the more and more we come together like this, the more of that whole is just going to fit absolutely perfectly. I see it as a globe right now, sort of with 3D puzzle pieces, and each of us are, you know, that piece. But when all the
Yeah.
pieces from the cosmos are collected together, it becomes this gorgeous sphere that is complete and perfect. So
Yeah. I
exciting.
love it. We're all pieces of the puzzle.
Mhm.
I want to be the corner piece. No, I don't want to be the corner piece. I want to be the middle piece.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Being sandwiched
I'm
by
just being
everybody.
playful. Yeah.
I love
Yeah, I
it.
love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I am.
So that's a good example of finding your own truth and guidance. Yeah, that's just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you think too, when we're asking, like if something comes up, I know for myself, like if something does show up, it's like, or something's being said to me, you know, it's like I ask myself, is that my truth?
Mhm.
Like, or I might say to them, well, in your world, that may be true for you, but in my world, that's not true.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
So
is.
not that I'm separate, which can kind
Mhm.
of sound like
Mhm.
it's separate, but
Mhm.
it's like
Mhm.
I think we all have a truce, right?
Yes, we do.
Within ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
could be sitting here spouting off all night long, blah, 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 and none of it resonates. That's okay. That means it's not your
Yeah.
truth. I'm sharing my
Yeah.
truth, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes it may match your truth, but you're absolutely right on. You know, even my
Yeah.
son and I, we may not always agree. He thinks that he's grown up and he should call the shots. And, you
Yeah.
know, no, that's not
Yes.
my truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truth is,
Exactly.
you know, you still need me and we need each other and so on. But yeah, it's a different perspective is all it is, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
and we can all get along if we have that perspective. We're not always going to
Yeah.
agree and our experiences aren't going to be the same necessarily. We might arrive from point A to point B on vastly different routes, but it's still the flow. We're still in the flow of it. So yeah,
Yeah.
wholeheartedly love what you just said.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and when you were saying it was like, but even whatever you're saying, you are planting the seeds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even if it's not resonating, it's like the seeds are being planted.
Mhm.
And then whenever they're ready, you know, so whatever you're saying, it's like, I'm sure
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that are resonating with that for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, Judith has a question. How do we get in contact with Kalia? So you want to just share really quick how people can just connect with you? You can say that really quick
Sure.
right now.
Yeah. The easiest way is through my website. You can feel free to contact me on Facebook too, but the easiest way is through my website. It's fairly comprehensive in that way you can see everything that I offer. So the website is www.kaliadiya.com. So KALIADIYA.com. And that's the
Awesome.
most direct. But you can also message me through Galactic Connections and Metaphysical Practitioner on Facebook as well.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Probably do that just in case it went down and I didn't get a chance
Yeah,
to see it.
thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Sweet.
So the next thing that came in, and honestly, I don't have a lot of. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, why I'm saying that. it's it's real time info tonight until I had just written down doing the work. So that means the everyday human thing, right? And they always give me word pictures, so this one is funny. I have to share this one. They showed me like the movie Back to the Future, and you know how Doc gets in the car and he punches in on the old keypad what day and what year, and he's going to jump
Yeah.
timelines and he's going to get there, right? And
Yeah.
so they showed me like it was hilarious. It was color coded buttons. So the ultimate timeline to jump was to Utopia, you know, and then there were a few other
Oh,
options in between. And they said everybody just wants to hit the Utopia button and get there now.
it's all right. Get us there.
Let's just go. We're
Yeah.
done with this. And I know the feeling. Like I rant to my
Yeah.
guides all the time. Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Can I just
But the
please,
movie.
just like a child does on a road trip. Are we there yet? Mom, what
Yeah.
are my
Yeah.
snacks?
Yeah.
We got to keep
Yeah.
ourselves entertained between where we're
Yeah.
at now and the utopia that we all want. So I giggled
Yeah.
about that because that was a funny word picture. But Anna, even the
Yeah.
message she had kind of slowed us down and brought us back to the present moment and to honoring it and doing the work because she did. Like she said, she lived, I don't even remember how long it was recorded, several hundred years old she was.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of time to put in as a human. Like I personally do
Yeah.
not want to live that old. But she was faithful and she did the work and she went through the initiations and assisted others and shared the knowledge and the wisdom and the love. And so that's the essence of what's being brought here now is to do the work, enjoy being human, create lives that are fulfilling, and stop trying to hit the gas pedal so hard or the utopia timeline button,
Yeah.
because it's all these moments along the way, like she said, the jewels of truth that are before you. That's
Yeah.
really what makes it kind of interesting. So if I
Yeah.
had fast tracked my own journey from, awakening to the present moment, I would have really missed so many important discoveries about myself, who I am, what I've, other lives even. I'm grateful for all of it, and yes, there are times when I rant at my guide. It's like, beat me up, Scotty, get me out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had it.
Yeah.
But then there will be something else that I go, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. It's
Yeah.
worthwhile. For the most part, I do want to be around here. I know that I am still full on. I have a lot of stuff to do. But anyway,
Yeah.
the essence of Anna's message in that vision or that word picture of Doc in the time machine in the DeLorean trying to hit the utopia
Yeah.
timeline. Don't hit it yet.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Yeah.
people that you meet and the people that you're going to bring in your life. Practice, with your manifestation. Keep yourself busy because if you get bored, then your linear mind's going to jump in and start, analyzing everything and calculating. And then that's when the shoulds and shouldn'ts come in and all of that. And then that throws you off. So,
Yeah.
and again, going back to the bird analogy, be like the bird, just fly around. It doesn't mean we can get away with adulting. We still have to pay the bills and, be the parent
Yeah.
and go to the
Wow.
job and all of that. But when you
Yeah.
have, let's say, a stress about money coming in, just say, open it up and don't say, I can't, or I don't know how this is going to work out. Say, I believe this will work out for my highest good, or I know that I'm being taken care of, or whatever, because those words are powerful. So I think yes, that was it for that one about doing the work. Oh, no,
Yeah.
it is not it. I'm sorry. There's more. Unless you want to comment,
Yeah.
Linda.
Yeah. Yeah, I have something I wanted to add to that I just heard too is by fast forwarding that you can miss out on opportunities. So you think you're going to utopia, right? And maybe that you end up going to I don't know, Fiji or some other destination that's so much more grander. So what
Mhm.
I'm saying is that it's like missing the opportunity that your life could have taken you into a completely different direction, that
Yes.
some place that you would never have even known or even thought about.
Yes.
So, and of course the movie Dan Millman, Peaceful Warrior. I don't know if you ever
Mm.
saw that one. Another great movie if
Yes.
nobody's seen it. But remember how he takes him to the top of the mountain? He said, I have a surprise for you.
Mhm.
And then they get up there and he's like, so what's this all about? Like, so what? I can see the land.
Mhm.
And he's like, no, don't you just see? And he's like, yeah, I see. So what? And he goes,
Mhm.
well, how was the journey up? And he goes, it was fantastic. I was excited. I was all this. And then he finally said, look down and see the rock. But so I think
Mhm.
it just takes that perspective, and just that trusting of knowing that
Mhm.
if you could miss out on so much more that was there for you that you would never have known,
Yes.
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I was meditating on this point, I received something just floated in. I forgot about it till now, so thank you.
Yeah.
The beings around me, my guides and whatever, said, what if this whole ascension awakening thing was about the journey and not the new earth? And they weren't
Yeah.
discounting it, but they were saying, what if that is the whole reason for this awakening, is for you to remember who you are, enjoy the
Yeah.
honor of the human experience, and remember how to live lives full of joy and not slavery and, you know,
Yeah.
being robots working for someone who doesn't care for you. What if it's all about that, recreating it? They were showing me it's a form of evolution, like the highest evolution,
Yeah.
because we've come here so many times. This planet is so beautiful, but there has been a lot of dark, nasty things that went on here. So now, all of a sudden, hundreds and thousands, millions of us are experiencing something different. We're recreating this whole process. And if you stop and think about it that way, instead of, me ranting at my team, beam me up, Scotty, get me out of here, you know,
Yeah.
and realizing what an amazing opportunity it is that I get to be a scout here, or
Yeah.
incarnate as a human and watch this amazing evolution happen. Oh, right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was so glad that they
Yes.
pointed that out to me, because that helps put it into perspective. Yeah, that
Yeah.
felt right.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we're
Yeah.
still working on the crystal cities and the new earth and oneness and galactic landings and all that exciting stuff, but in the meantime, it is really fulfilling
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
human right now and to watch all
Yeah.
this amazing
Yeah.
stuff happen. Huh.
Yeah. We're witnessing such
Yes. Hmm.
transition in the earth and
Yeah.
ourselves and the planet and
Hmm.
everything on it,
Hmm.
that we chose to come down here to witness
Yeah.
and be a part of all this.
Hmm.
It's pretty
Hmm.
spectacular. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's
Awesome.
why we're not to push the utopia timeline button yet. you
Yeah.
know, because like Anna said,
Not at all.
not at all. There are moments where we feel uncomfortable, or we feel sad, or we might feel angry, or whatever, and then we look at the guy next to us, and well, looks like they've got it all going on, and we get jealous and whatever, and they wanted me to share this. I'm like, really, you guys? Because I'm all about happy marshmallow light energy. But I needed to share this too, to not judge the person next to you or be jealous of them, because just because it seems like they have their life together, or they have a, a voice, a platform for their voice to be seen and heard, whatever, it does not mean that it just happened magically for them. That person, to be given that responsibility and put in that position, if that person resonates with you and feels true. There's a lot of people out there that are could be called false light workers, or maybe they're just egotistical or whatever. There is that too. But those that you resonate with, that are more public, they didn't just get there by happenstance. They did the work. They put in the time. They cleared their templates. They dealt with a lot of ugly stuff that came up. They probably cried into their pillow at night. They've gone through death, divorce, destruction. Who knows? So
Yeah.
when you see that person in front of you, or you read their posts, or you watch their shows, that again, we're coming full circle to not comparing yourself to others, because that person you know was put in that position because they did the work, because they were faithful, because they didn't give up. And so hopefully that's the essence. Check, but the essence of why we needed to bring that forth is to let go of the jealousy or the envy. I wish I was that person, or why didn't I get that opportunity? That's the victim program running. So you don't want to run with that,
Yeah.
because your time will come in your own way. Everybody has a different mission, you know galactic, cosmic, humanity, Gaia, whatever.
I love
Yeah. So honor each
that.
soul and honor your own soul.
I loved when you said that the last show. I
Mm.
think that was really powerful, that people, there's so many levels that we are um, chosen, you know, or we
Mm,
chose our soul
yeah.
contract to work
Yeah.
different, you know, to whatever capacity, you know, whether it's cosmic or
Mhm.
like you said, Gaia,
Mhm.
the collective, or who knows, you know. So
Mm,
I love that. It really, yeah, I know it helped me think, okay,
mhm.
so it's like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Mm,
And everyone,
mm,
if there's a part of you that's coming up that wants to be acknowledged or seen or heard, then look at that,
yeah,
and say why. Is it something that needs to be cleared from my template or my divine hologram or however you wish to describe it? That came up heavily for me at certain periods of time because I was the middle child and then I got my attention by being the good girl, the easy kid, you know. And then,
yeah,
when I got older, I got a little more rebellious about it. But that's why that program is running in me because I felt like I wasn't seen or heard my whole childhood. I had great parents, but it's just that the particular family dynamic was that was the only way I felt like I could be seen or heard was by being perfect, which again ran another perfectionist program that really tripped me up.
yeah,
But there was even last year, part of me that wanted to be acknowledged, and I was just clearing that. That's all that was. And so I needed to let go of that need to be seen and heard, and just be content with me and just
yeah,
love me and know that I'm okay and I'm cool. It's fine. I don't need people to tell me that. But though these kind
yeah,
of things that they're bringing up, it's a process, and that's why they're saying do the work, put in the
yeah,
time. It will be worth it, because if we try to hit the utopia button, it's gonna malfunction, because we
yeah,
cannot get away with anything right now because the current frequencies, it instantly
yeah,
backfires, right? And
yeah,
so for those who aren't connected to source fully, there's a lot of drama in a lot of people's lives right now and a lot of stress because they just, they can't get in the current frequency. It's just too intense. So
yeah,
it's a really good opportunity for when stuff does come up to make it useful for you so it doesn't backfire,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, for
Mm,
sure. I wrote down when you were talking about being seen and heard, what I heard too was, if you don't mind I add to this, is that
mhm,
it reminded me of the Avatar movie where
mhm.
it's being seen. So you are
Yeah.
being seen for who you really are. We're seeing you, Kalia, for who
Mhm. Yeah.
or whoever that person is, that we see out there. I
Mhm.
think that, or I feel that we want to be seen, for who we really are.
Yeah.
That that soul, that the depths
Mhm.
within us, and then
Mhm.
heard. I think it's for
Mhm.
that voice of what we have to share
Yeah.
out to the world, what we're bringing to the world. So I
Mhm.
think that you talk about perspectives instead of being wanting to be seen, in the lights or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know that movie. Yeah, I heard that movie because it's just such a powerful movie
Yeah,
of
it is.
being seen at such a transparency, right? It's like
Mhm.
taking everything off and
Mhm.
being so vulnerable, so transparent that you see who I really am. I think we talked on your show some to the depths of really showing, being that heart. And what Anna said
Mhm.
today is like just being in that heart. And yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I heard,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
it's just so I think, I think a lot of people want to be seen and heard. I
Yeah,
think
of
we all
course.
do at some
Yes, we
level,
do. That's okay.
but it's for that. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
But just not to let that be your driving force in life,
Yeah,
to constantly be needing to be seen and heard. And the best way you can navigate through that is to listen to yourself and acknowledge yourself and honor yourself. I know that hmm, I'm asking for a clearer way to say that. So when I understood that I had that need to be acknowledged, I did what Anna said. And I went with Anna. I said, why do I have that deep need to be acknowledged? And then I understood it was part of this lifetime's programming, hugely,
yeah,
this lifetime's programming. And it helped me shift that. And they're showing me an exercise that I used to do, and I will share it with you. It may help. with this when you have something like that come up and you don't know what to do with it. I don't remember where I learned this. Probably, I think it was through I went to see counselors at many different points in my life, which really helped me. But I think it came from one of them, when you have a memory that upsets you so badly and you play it over and over and over in your mind, and you wish it could have been differently, and you know it impacted you hugely, and it changed the way you thought about yourself, et cetera, et cetera. So when you have that traumatic memory, this is what I think is time travel. You can take yourself back. So the one I'm thinking about is when I was a small child and I got in trouble for something that I didn't do. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just sitting there being my angelic self at that time. That
Yeah.
instance. There were times when I wasn't so angelic. But that really impacted me. The way that growing up in my life got me in trouble. And it really squished me. It made me suppress myself and it made me be afraid to be me and so on. So I think it was a counselor, showed me how you can go back in that point in time and you imagine yourself as a child, but you're the grown up. For me now, what if this comes up? I actually haven't done this in a while, but imagine your infinite self, your higher self, your all-knowing self, your self that's just calm, cool, and collected. You take that part of you back to that memory when that traumatic thing happened, and then you just hold yourself. If you were a small child or a 21-year-old or whatever, you love yourself and you time travel back to that point in time and you change the memory of that. And so whenever that comes up, you say, no, I've taken care of it. I've changed the outcome of that. Really, I actually do work like this with people where we can go back in time and we can change and clear and whatever. And it's really powerful, but you can do that yourself. Take yourself back to that memory and you can ask for it to be altered or deleted or whatever you feel is right, or just simply sit there with yourself and love yourself and hold yourself. You can say, there, it will be okay. Or you did the best you could, or, whatever. But time travel back and you can shift the energy of that so it no longer is traumatizing to you. And so for me, it was about being seen and heard. But I'm a good girl. Why am I getting in trouble? That kind of
Yeah.
energy. But that just came in. So I wanted to share that because it's a really practical way. Anybody can do it. And you're changing your divine hologram. You're clearing that so that it doesn't plague you anymore, because you don't want to carry that stuff around with you. No way.
I love that. It's clearing. Yeah. Clearing all the stuff out of there.
Yeah. That's under the heading doing the work. Because it does take work sometimes to clear all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That, it's not really, they say it's not easy, it's not like it's well, we're making it easy for the people that are coming behind because we're doing all the work, but you still have to do the work no matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it for you.
Yeah. But, and we can enjoy utopia along the way. We don't have to hit that exact timeline, right?
Just enjoy it where you're at. Enjoy all that dark stuff, the the good and the bad and the ugly, and taking it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
So when Anna, if we're ready to go to the next one,
yes.
I will refer to what she said here. There are many who wish to simply arrive at a great destination point in their journey, hence hitting the utopia button. There are many who rush about looking for answers, the eternal seekers, when they miss the jewels of truth that are before them. So when I was meditating, about not focusing on the destination, but staying in the moment, again, I got another word picture. So hopefully everybody's cool with all my goofy little word pictures and metaphors.
Love it.
Okay. Because here's another one. I'll keep it brief. So in this human life, I used to be a marathon runner. So I trained, I ran thousands and thousands of miles. I did it very scientifically.
Wow.
Like I would have days for speed intervals, hill training, endurance training, and so on. That really helped me become such a calm, focused person, because whenever I was out on a run and I was like, I'm going to die any minute, I'd be like, no, I've probably had a worse run than this. I can get through it. I've trained for this. My body knows. I trust it all as well. But they gave me this marathon example about not looking for the destination or, seeking it, but enjoying the in between moments. But this is what kind of got me excited when they showed me this. It's like, yes, I trained for it. And that's what Anna was saying. She had so many tests and initiations and opportunities to learn. She's an amazing or being of higher wisdom, like phenomenal. But she didn't get there by accident. She wasn't just like catapulted into the ethers all of a sudden with this access to this divine wisdom. She worked for it. And so they were showing me the parallels of marathon training, where I did very scientific training. Like I described, and I put in the hours and I went through lots of pairs of shoes. But before each of my long runs every weekend, I would go stash water bottles along my running route. So I would hide it like under a bridge, or I would hide it, behind a tree that was by the road, and I knew exactly where I would probably need it. So I would stash, 3 or 4, say for a 20-mile run or whatever. So I thought that was a brilliant illustration, because our higher self, our infinite self, our future self, if you will, has left us these clues or water bottles at key points in our journey to boost us. Like say we're burning out, we think, what's the point? And then we come to that rest point where we're like, oh, I got a water bottle here. I'm going to make it. I can go 2 more miles at least, right? But that's the point of the whole journey, right? Is to not just to focus entirely on, when you're home and you take your shoes off and you can sit back and just like be happy to be alive, right? But to enjoy the intervals and know that you've trained for this, and you're going to be okay. And those clues left by your higher self will be there, or the water bottle on the run. What you need will be given to you at exactly when you need it. And that's how we make it through this. And I know we're talking a lot about a lot of work and clearing old programs, and it sounds like really heavy stuff. But let's be honest, a lot of us, have experienced that. It's not all joy and bliss all the time. We definitely have those moments, and those moments are becoming more frequent. But that's why our higher self, our infinite self, leaves us these little clues and these little rewards, or creator, or your angels, or whatever. It's there. So that's why Anna was saying, stop and look at the jewels of truth that are before you.
Yeah. That's great message. A lot of jewels.
There are.
Hidden treasures.
And the jewel may be another human being. Maybe there's someone right there who's supporting you and getting you through it. That's fine. Or maybe you're that jewel for somebody else. You're like, oh, you got this. Or I got your back, sister. I've been there, done that, and I survived, and, let's go for coffee and let's talk about whatever, a trip to Maui together or whatever, and those are the jewels of truth that come. They're that little relief that's given when you've got blisters on your feet and you're just like, this is way harder than anybody's reporting. Why am I not experiencing waves of bliss? And it seems like, the whole collective is getting it except me. Probably not. You're not excluded that way, right? But
yeah, absolutely. The universe definitely does surprise us, give us surprises.
Yes.
It's full of wonderful things.
Yes, it truly is. Truly is.
Yeah.
And we can make it so. It's not up to fate. It's not up to chance. It's not up to anything. Timelines can be changed. Realities can be changed. You can change it in an instant. And I think this was one of the points. The universe is a yes universe. And that I did not channel that. That came from a dear sister, Amanda Lawrence. And when I read that, I was like, holy bleep. I get that. I get that. So when you put the frequency out there, it comes back to you. You sing to the stars, they sing back to you. You say, my needs will be met, and they will be. The universe says, oh, her needs will be met. We better get to work. Let's meet her needs.
Yeah.
it is like that. And again, that's keeping it really simple, but that is how we can live lives that are far more effortless, and we're in an era where we have instant manifestation often, you know,
Yeah.
and I've had many, many examples of that very recently. And I'm just like, yes, I'm singing opera around the house going, huh,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Boost my own faith, right? But the universe is
Yeah.
a yes universe. So if you have a pressing need right now, then say something to the universe where it's a yes frequency instead of saying, I can't, like, again, I'm repeating myself, but here we go. I can't, or it won't, or how will it, or whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
it will. Yes, it is. And so it is. And then watch it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. Yeah. And what I got too was, when when you manifest or something happens that's really great, I'm like, say I got a money miracle or something, and I'll
Mhm.
say, how can I have more of that? Or like, I'll have more of that, please.
Mhm.
Or if something's right, things are going really good, it's like, how does it get any better than this? Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
else can that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if you're saying that when, like some people will say, oh my gosh, how is it going to get any worse than this? Trust me,
Mhm.
it's going to get
Mhm.
worse. And like it
Mhm.
goes back to what you said on earlier about your language. So when
Mhm.
things like that happen, I'm like, oh my gosh, how does it get any better than this?
Mhm.
So I was like, bring it on, universe. I'll
Mhm.
take that. Yes.
Mhm.
So it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, it keeps in
Yeah.
your vibes high. And
Yeah, it does.
I love that.
Mhm.
It is totally a yes, universe.
It
Yeah.
totally is. Like I referred to at the
Yeah.
beginning of the show, this has been a week that I could write a book about. A year ago, it would have knocked me back about,
Oh,
1 or 2 months, but with the exception of one thing, I had to process it for a few hours. Everything that was in my experience at the moment, I was able to just roll on and just go, "Oh, that
yeah.
happened," or, "Oh, this happened. Big deal." I did not carry any extra energy with it. I just observed it. This was a phenomenal
Mm.
week for me in that respect because I had, yeah, it was just, there's so many breakthroughs and so much amazing madness going on right now. But I was able to just go with it because obviously was ready for it. So it wasn't a big deal, even though it was highly entertaining. But
There you
yeah.
go. That's a good word.
Mhm.
Entertaining, look
Yeah.
at the positive side. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
it's like the universe say, let me entertain you. You know that song, Let Me Entertain You? That's what I just
Yeah.
heard. So the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
To get
Sure.
you to like shift or something, That's
Yeah.
why sometimes I think what we talked about this, the universe is so funny.
Mm,
The
yeah.
angels are all just
Mhm.
hilarious. Like,
They
let's go
are.
joke on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because humor is, and
Yeah.
laughter and joy is such high frequency, like really
Yeah.
high. Really, really high. So you may not be feeling love or light or
Yeah.
maybe things you think you should be, so laugh at it because that will
Yeah. Yeah.
automatically raise your vibration. And just say, well, this seems to be some
Exactly.
cosmic joke, you know. But
Yeah.
don't stay there. Allow yourself to really laugh at it. Like my guide, who's so
Yeah.
funny, he's always making jokes like, "Why don't you talk in light language tonight?" I'm like, but it just totally raised my
Yeah.
vibration. It helped me not
Yeah.
just trust the flow. Okay, here
Yeah.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah. It took
Mhm.
your mind off of for sure,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Speaking of flow too, it's like when you do go with the flow, it's like swimming upstream. There's a lot there's a lot of resistance. It's going to take you
Mhm.
a heck of a lot longer to go upstream,
Mhm.
as opposed to just going with where the water flows.
Yes.
And it's funny because we talk about water, like water is so uh I know the word I'm looking for, but it's it can go over, under, around,
Mhm.
and it finds
Mhm.
its way.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. This week I was the
You
river.
want it. Oh,
Yes.
nice. Must be really nice there. Did the snow melt?
There's a
Has the snow
considerable
melted?
amount of it melted. Yes. Yes. We may
Yeah.
see epic floods next week. Who knows?
Ooh.
But no, it's been beautiful.
Oh,
Such a nice treat. Yes. But I will be like the
that's
water that
awesome.
flows.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I think water's the only one that can actually change because it can freeze, it can boil, it can be cold, it can be hot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word for that. I don't know what
There is a
that
word for
is,
that.
but
We'll leave that to our
our
quantum.
viewers,
Yeah.
yeah, our quantum people, they probably know what it is. Oh,
Mm,
too funny.
yes.
Gosh. Yeah. Well, anything else the guides want to say? We'll take it to question and answer.
Yeah, I think so, 'cause that was the end of all the big juicy stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Mm.
good stuff.
Well, Anna's here and she's just really enjoying
Ooh.
this. She's really
Wow.
sitting back with her hands folded and she's really enjoying it. So
Mm,
apparently stuff is moving. That's good. And I don't
mm,
know if I mentioned it. I don't think I did, but I will say it now. Like we said it last time too, but I just want to say it. If this resonates with you, allow what needs to clear to simply dissolve, like we were talking about meditation.
mm.
But they were saying, I'm getting to it. I can't read my writing. This is the problem.
Oh, that's what
You
you
know, you will receive exactly what you need during
said. Oh,
this
yeah.
transmission, this exchange of energy and this beautiful, peaceful balance that we're feeling. And she's sitting right there on my chair and she's saying, yes, it's happening. So I'm
Oh.
saying, yes, that's good. That is good.
Ah,
We're clearing and dissolving. We're
thank
becoming lighter
you.
and we can laugh about it as we do it,
Mm,
because it's so important to share. This is why I've been on this authentic thing for quite a few months, showing my own authenticity, my own transparency,
yeah,
because I think it's important for people to know that it's safe to do that because there's
mm,
there's still stigma out there that we have to be a certain way or we have to have it all together all the
mm,
time or we have to feel every single wave that comes in. I no. I'm here to have a human
mm.
experience. There'll be days when I'm too damn tired, to get out
Yeah.
and receive whatever the sun is doing. I'm just like, can we just, filter it through the wall, please? Because I ain't moving.
Just I'm laying
Yeah,
in my bed, just bring
yeah,
it down,
bring it in
Yes,
here, please.
yeah,
Right here, right
yeah. Or
now.
the galactic, yeah. Or otherwise, you guys, we were gonna say we're at the galactic spa. That's where we're at
Yes,
tonight.
yes.
We're in the galactic spa.
We are in the galactic spa where the
Yeah,
ambience is perfect and the
yeah.
temperature is perfect, and these
Oh,
really nurturing
yeah,
frequencies are coming. So
yeah.
yeah, that feels like that's all we're getting with that, but just know
Okay.
whoever's watching could be live or it could be after, that the
Mm,
same transmission, the same frequency, and the same peace, and the same infinite
yeah,
everything is available to you right now as you hear
yeah,
this or as you hear the message from Anna. It's all
yeah,
timeless and it's all
yeah,
freely given.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you, Anna. Okay, we can
Hmm.
open up to question and answer. And Lawrence did say water seeks its own balance. So thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I love that. That's perfect. Okay, we are going to open it up to question and answer. So if anybody has any questions for the show empowerment, let us know your questions and we'll take those. Let's see. Hold on one second, you guys. Oops. No questions. You guys, anybody have any questions for Kalia? You do. Let's see. I'm gonna check Conscious Talk and see if there's any, because I always ask them there too, if they have any questions. Let's see. Um, I got a new phone, so bear with me, you guys. Oh, here we go. Okay, there's a question. Oops. Let's see. Um, So Amy and Sun Moon, I don't, excuse me. We're not doing any personal, any personal readings or sessions tonight. We're only taking the questions that are directed towards the empowerment show. So I'm sorry, but if you want to get a hold of Kalia, you can get a hold of Kalia at www.kaliadaya.com, or you can go to her Facebook page as well, and she can help you with that. But thank you, I appreciate it. What I saw another one in here. Oh, Deborah, same thing. Let's see. Well, maybe let me ask you this, because it may not be. I can connect with my higher self. I see her on my left side and up a bit. I would like to hear and understand her communicating with me. What can you tell me on how to understand her? That sounds more like a. Is it more of a personal one?
That's fine. That's an empowerment question if we're going to be all
Okay.
black
Yeah.
and white about it.
Well, I mean, it's up to you, because
Yeah, no, that's
one want to
fine.
know his soul mission, yeah, or her
Yeah,
life's
that
purpose,
could.
or things like that.
Yeah, Deborah's question could help a lot of people, so let's go with that. So
Okay,
when you want
perfect.
to connect to your higher self or your infinite self, it takes practice to. One thing that I did in the beginning, and I'll keep this short and sweet, I had a mantra. And
Yeah.
and I learned this through a friend, and it is simple. I have clear and direct communication with my higher self. So whenever there were moments when I really wanted to connect to that divine knowingness, that oneness of all that I am, I would just say that. And then sometimes I would forget and walk away and do my merry little thing. But I had opened up that connection. So I'll say it again. I have clear and direct communication with my higher self. How you can recognize that is those soft knowings that just float in, the things that didn't come through your mind, just those feelings, or you'd be like, oh, where did that come from? That is your higher self communicating with you, or sometimes it's your guides, or a message from source. But it's all those things that you don't analyze and you don't overthink, that they just come floating into your awareness, and it's just like, yeah. So that's two good ways to start recognizing, communicating with your higher self, is consciously verbalizing it and connecting to it, and then being aware that it's always around you, it's always there. You just learn how to tune into that particular frequency.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Deborah, for that question. So you know what? Maybe I will ask you. Let's see. The other one, what she wanted to know her soul mission. Let's see. I assume the question before she replied. Okay, that was Judith had asked the question on the last show, and she wants to know. Yeah, Judith, you'll have to get a hold of Kalia on her website if you can. That would be great. Thank you. She wants to know. Nasia wants to know her life purpose. Is that you feel that's more of a personal?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Nasia, if you could. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, I'm
Yeah.
holding
Sorry.
space for you guys, but it was made very clear to me to keep this, an empowerment show, and perhaps we'll do one in the future where we do what we did spontaneously last time. But for now, to hold space for everybody to, to ask those questions, the other questions.
Yeah. So if you want to get a hold of her at kaliadaya.com or Facebook, you can get a hold of her. That would be great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Junior has a question. Can you ask Anna what is the true name Jesus? Because I heard that Jesus actually is a Greek name. Thank you, Junior.
Yeah. Well, Jesus is here and he's saying it doesn't really matter, but he does acknowledge it. And I am seeing Greek letters. I am beginning to see, if I may receive an interpretation of that. I am seeing it very clearly. Well, let's just take it at that. That is a confirmation that there is a Greek name. The interpretation obviously is not important at this moment. So, confirmation of it, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Julia. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Junior. Angel's question is, you're welcome, Sun Moon. Angel's question is, what is Anna's insights on the event? Good question. Thank you, Angel.
Mm-hmm. She's showing me something, so hang on. So Anna is showing me the cosmos, the universe. I'm seeing a huge source of light, and it's coming through what I would describe as a wormhole to this dimension. I'll ask her if there's anything. The question was Anna's insight on the event. Well, that I would take that confirmation of, that light being beamed this direction. But that's interesting. I've never seen it that way before. It's really beautiful, and it's already touching the planet. It's not like I'm not seeing it necessarily as a singular event, but I'm seeing it definitely happen. Because time is, a difficult concept to describe, as we want to make it all linear all the time. But I'll ask her if there's anything else that we can share about that. Okay, just focus on the moment. Focus on the now moment and know that it's happening, basically. That was a really cool vision, though, I saw. Never seen it like that.
Wow.
But, I mean, do I share this or not? I think yes. We may each experience it differently. I know some people, like a friend sent me a video today of someone videoing the sun, and it was actually flashing and pulsing. So, and I personally have seen that before. And then the other day I took a picture where the sun was like twice as big as it normally is. I'm like, whoa. So we'll all experience it differently. I yet have not received confirmation of one great big giant event. I am wide open to that happening, but they have not given me any inside intel, which I'm okay with. I know a lot of people are really keen to know that. But Anna just said, she gave me confirmation that there's a lot of light coming in, like it was a huge amount of light, and that it is happening. And then just stay in the moment. I mean, who doesn't like a surprise anyway, right? Because that'll be a good one.
Yeah, I totally love surprises. Okay, Dawn has a question. If Anna brings all of her lifetimes together, what would her learning from these lives have to teach us? Great question, Dawn. Thank you.
I'm just hearing the knowing. And that involves the remembering of who you are. So maybe you do not have access to everything that you wish to have access to. Maybe you are a very curious person and you want to know it all, and know that you can. The answers will come, but just the knowing that you hold the keys and you are the divine being of light that you are, and you have that capacity to access all that. Now they're showing me DNA, so a lot of DNA. I mean, this isn't breaking news either, but they are showing me DNA for a reason. A lot of the DNA is being upgraded and activated, and we're going from, double strand helix to triple strand. Some people have far more strands than that already activated. But I'm not remembering the question. But anyway, that is the answer that was given. The lifetime of Anna, was it? What would be the
learning?
Yeah. So the knowing,
her learning aspects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just her throughout all of her experiences. She knew. She did not lose sight. She did not let doubt come in. She was really driven, actually, and very intelligent, and just loving, so loving. Like, she would be the kind of person that children automatically just come to, like there are certain people that have that frequency where animals and children just crowd around them, and because they have this knowing, this understanding, this telepathic communication going on, and that is the essence that she carries. It is so high vibrational and just so accepting and so loving, and And that would, yeah, it's the knowing. That's her that would be her mission, her knowing, and also empowering. That's why she came forward with this empowerment message too, because she empowered hundreds and hundreds of people during the time she spent here.
And that would be her learning, like teaching us to just
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just hold that knowing in your heart. You may not have all the clues or all the details, but just know. I am. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Kalia. Robin has a question. Identities are dissolving as Anna connects as one light through inner earth with central sun. Is this the way Anna sees it?
I'm going to have to ask you to repeat that again, please.
Sure. Identities are dissolving as Anna connects as one light through inner earth with central sun? Question mark. Is this the way Anna sees it?
Oh, I just
So
heard
I
it's
guess
one.
identities are dissolving.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, we still hold our own personal frequency and essence, but I just heard it's one of the ways when you said the central sun and the inner earth. It's one of the ways of connection. My human mind is having might be just tired, but understanding the question. But I trust what Anna's saying. It's one of the ways. Hopefully that answers that dear sister's question.
Okay. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Kalia. And Jeter said thank you. He's grateful for that information. Let's see. Let's see. Dawn, definitely. Deborah, how do we remember who we are? Thank you, Deborah.
Well, that's a process. We start with the knowing that we are divine beings. And we're not just randomly, haphazardly placed here in the universe. And then I personally have asked hundreds of questions. Where did I come from? I had past life memories a long, long time ago, which helped me remember a very small bit of who makes up the whole essence of my soul. But how you remember is you ask questions, and don't obsess about it, but ask that you receive the information you need, because it will come to you as it is needed and as you are ready. So you're not going to receive the full download. I have never, ever seen someone receive a full download. It has been one discovery after another, so you trust the process. You'll be led to the right people at the right time, and you'll have, memories coming in at the right time, and you'll be activated at the right time. But it's all orchestrated by your own soul, and that's how we remember who we are. It's usually that experience. Now you can be open to however it comes too, but don't be afraid to ask, and then watch it happen.
Thank you, Kalia.
Yeah.
Thank you. Robin said yes. You answered the question. Thank you, Robin. You're welcome, Angel. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions? I still have to get into the conscious talk yet. No other questions as of right now. Yeah, no other questions as of right now.
Okay.
Do you have anything that they're feeling that they want to add to?
Well, Anna's talking about the keys of the kingdom. That's very Bible speak. So I'm asking her why she's showing me an actual book, and there's a big key on top of it, but she's referring to the collective, and especially the group of people that are here that are going to watch this later. She's saying that we are each key holders. You know how you have a different key for a different lock. and only that key will open that lock. But each of us have that key holder. What's the English word, Anna? Each of us hold that in our divine blueprint to be key holders. Oh, I see where she's going with this. So that is how you, when the person asked about how to remember who you are, so you know that you are the key holder to your own essence, your own blueprint. That's the word. Thank you. So that's why she's showing me, and there's like a book of wisdom with a really cool old antique key on top. So what she's doing now is that frequency is coming out through the group. I can see it. So some of you are being unlocked. You're going to remember stuff. This is an activation, and it's really exciting. So each of you have your own unique divine key to unlock the blueprints to your own cosmic essence, or your own cosmic mission, or your own cosmic purpose. And you will be led to those who will help you and assist you. You know, you're not asked to sit behind a desk or grind away like a university student would for exams. You know, you can spend as much time as you want, but again, trust the process and know that it will all be revealed to you at the right time as it is needed and as you're ready. This Anna is very busy over here.
Wow, thank you, Anna. Thank you, Kalia. That was beautiful. I love that. We have some more questions here, but
Do we?
get down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a few more.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a few more. We have traveled as essence together. Are we all meeting each other again? And that's from Robin. Thank you, Robin.
Yes. And this is really magic right now. How people, and we thank goodness for the internet. It has been turned into a divine, very useful tool. So trust that each exchange you are having with each person that raises your vibration and makes you excited or piques your curiosity or something high vibe, trust that that is absolutely orchestrated, because so much of that is happening right now. People are finding each other, and random, things that you would think were random, but it's not random. Like the souls that exchange right now, it is so quantum, because you're exchanging energy and information with each other that you're not even aware of. So yes, we are finding each other, and yes, it's powerful, it's amped up, and you just wait, baby, this is only the beginning. Because we are going to form, there are pockets forming, certain groups forming that have certain frequencies that are doing really amazing work. And it may seem like you're just hanging out with friends having fun, but there's a lot more going on because we're multidimensional. So when certain ones of us that have the same frequency come together, we're just like popping off fireworks. And we may not see it, but that is what's happening. We're unlocking more of this. We're bringing in, actually, they're telling me it's not necessarily unlocking, it's locking in those frequencies to Gaia and to the grids that we're working on, the human grid that we're a part of. So every human that connects, this grid is getting stronger and brighter, and the frequency is raising higher and higher. So a big fat yes to that. We are finding each other, and it's just going to, just like an avalanche, just get momentum and become so powerful. It already is that, but it will increase.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question. Dawn, is there anything to be known for those of us that have the lineage of Jesus or Mary Magdalene?
Well, that's definitely happening in the now. That frequency is coming in, really in a big way. I will ask if there's anything specific about that, though. We all have access to the Christ consciousness. But there are those who carry that frequency stronger than others. And again, that's why we don't judge or be jealous or, whatever. But there are those who do come here with that mission and that frequency. But yes, it is happening now. That is one of the divine directives, and that is able to come in again. Okay, I'm getting that's the end of that. Okay, that's the end of that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Kalia. Angel has a question. How can we assist Gaia Mother Earth during this process of ascension? Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, Angel.
Well, a really practical way is to go out and sit under a tree and just visualize that the beautiful rays of source that comes through the galactic center and through our sun. Just imagine it just a steady stream of light with no red lights in between, no blockages. It's just pouring in. It's going to come in through the crown of your head and going to go out through the soles of your feet into Mama Earth. And you're just going to bring in your own beautiful, loving frequencies, and you're grounding it. You know, the cosmic source stuff that's coming, you're going to ground it into Mama Earth, and it's that simple. You know, if you want, you can explore that further, because a lot of people do really technical work, but honestly, I just know the magic flows when I sit my butt down on the ground on a tree, and I just say, here I am. I'm a conduit. I know I am, and I love trees and nature anyway, so my frequency is already high by the time I get there. That is all that's needed. Open yourself up as a conduit, allow source to flow where source goes, and you know, you can visualize it, imagine it going down into Mama Earth, and Gaia, Mother Earth, she talks. She is consciousness. I've channeled messages from her. So she's our friend, right? She's our mother, you know. So talk to her and thank her, and that is assisting her as well. And just send her love, and it's yeah, it's that easy, and it's really fun too.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's a beautiful thing to do. And she
Yeah.
loves us when we do that. Yes. Let's see. I don't know if you feel like taking any more. I don't think they're. Um, yeah. This is on that. So, oh, no more question.
No more questions. Well, it feels good. It feels done too. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, we are all one. We are
Yeah.
all one. We're all here to help each other. Nobody's
Yeah.
greater than or lesser than. We are all unique and
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Thank you. And I have one question that if there's one thing that you could pass along to the viewers that are watching now and the ones that'll be watching later that's helped you on your path, this journey of life, what would that be?
One thing, that's such a great question, Linda.
Mhm.
I I know the thing that has helped me the most is the neutrality, to remain neutral, to do that 92-second thing you were talking about, press the pause button. There's times when I've simply walked away from a volatile situation without saying anything. So I think neutrality has been my biggest um, catalyst, my biggest helper, my biggest teacher, is to learn how to tap into that frequency, because honestly, we can't always jump into the frequency of love. You know, if someone annoys you, it takes mastery to go from annoyance to love. Well, if you were if I was a master, I probably wouldn't get annoyed, period. Who knows? But that neutrality, I think, has been the biggest thing, learning how to hold that frequency when, and not judging myself if I can't go to love. And honestly, sometimes we're not asked to love everything. We can, you know, we can hold that frequency, but it doesn't mean I have to love the kid who just punched my son in the face at school. I mean, that's a bad example, but I can still be neutral and understand that he's a child and he's just acting out, you know. So if I'm in the emergency room and getting stitches for my son, you know, I may not be feeling loving toward that other child, but I can be neutral and know that that child probably has had an experience where he just learned to act out. Sort of a silly example, but neutrality. To answer your question, that would be
Yeah.
the biggest aid, frequency, etc., that has helped me. Mm-hmm.
And you got there. How did you get that to that neutrality?
Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
really a lot of
Everything's
practice.
practice. You don't just, hit the baseball like,
Mm-hmm.
become I want to say NFL, but that's not NFL. That's football. So,
Mm-hmm.
but become a baseball league type person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for just another wonderful show and such
Mm-hmm.
just peaceful and in our galactic spa. Yeah,
Yes, it was good, Linda.
yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think Anna and Creator and everybody else that popped in
Yes,
today too. And all the souls that joined us, thank you. And Linda, thank you. You're
yes,
just so easy and amazing. This is always so good to be
yes.
with
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. Same here. It's good to be with you too, and it's good to be with all the listeners and
Mm-hmm.
the ones who joined us today and the ones who will join us, watching the video afterwards. And I do thank Anna and all the guides that came in tonight that are here just assisting in the show and stuff. And thank you for allowing that, bringing that divine energy in to have this flow. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I appreciate that. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, yeah. So thank you. And
Yeah.
thank you everybody again for tuning in. So just so beautiful. We love all of you and we thank all the ones who'll be tuning in later when they watch this video. So yeah, so awesome. Kalia, much love. I love you, my
Mm-hmm.
sister.
I love you, my sister. My heart is blessed.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very much so. All right. Love you guys. And we will see you tomorrow night. All right. Yeah. Bye.